Do you have a short list
for this process?
I'm going to move as quick as we can, but you got to understand too. Other than the Big Ten, everyone's still playing football games, and some of them have multiple games left. So it's going to take some time to get in front of some of the people maybe that have interest in us or we have interest in, because a lot of them, it's a distraction to their current employer that they're out hunting for a head coach. So sometimes you have to wait until those seasons are over. But at the end, the one thing I can't change is the signing date's the first week of February, and that's not going to change. So that's why the timeline needs to be quick, because you need 2 or 3 weeks to bring recruits on this campus and sell this new program.
Ron, do you have coaches in mind, names at all in mind at all?
Well, the challenging, the people that we're dealing with have families, not dealing with. The people we potentially will be dealing with have families and careers. And it's going to be very hard for me to list names and confirm or deny that we've talked to them, because, they've got careers that, are may or may not be in jeopardy based upon us saying that. Now, with that said, whether it's football or soccer or some other sport, it's part of my job to know who the quality coaches are out there and who are some people that you may want to have to lead to lead your program. And not so far back that in 2006, John Haycock's name was being thrown around for other jobs. So obviously, whether you're getting, whether there's a coaching change or a coach moves on, you always have some names that you're thinking about.
John, how important do you think it will be to address the coaching staff's salary structure, and how prepared are you to be able to adjust it?
I think we're prepared to make some adjustments there, and obviously it'll depend on the successful candidate.
Ron, how many will you bring in, or will you bring them in, or how will you go through this? I mean, will you break it down into 5 or 10, or?
I don't believe, historically, I think, everyone here is used to how we've gone through searches with basketball. And we've been able to bring those individuals in, and the media's been able to meet with them, and, the search committee and different, people on campus. And I think this is going to be, just because of the timeline, it has to be a different search. Basketball's in the spring, the signing date's back in November, so there's no real rush to get a head coach on board. In order to deal with the timeline I think we have to deal with, I expect to spend a lot of time off campus, and and maybe bring one candidate, maybe 2 candidates back on campus to visit, the critical people that they need to visit.
How much influence or how much involvement will Dr. Sweet have?
Ultimately, Dr. Sweet has been very supportive of what we've been trying to do and the hires we've made, and obviously he has the final authority, but again, he's been very supportive, and I will bring that final candidate or two to him and allow him to have obviously the input that he feels he needs to have.
Ron, were you leaning toward allowing the coach to finish out his contract?
That's a good question. I never got to the point where I went through that evaluation. With the discussion I had with John, and I've always said that I was going to make this evaluation at the end of the year. I really never had to really sit down and do that, and I don't want to try to predict the future.
Ron, back to the timeline. I mean, is it too soon to say you would have a coach before Christmas?
I think that's a possibility.
Ron, how did your meeting with the players go? What kind of things did you discuss with them?
The first thing I talked to them about were expectations. You're still dealing with young men, and some of them need more direction than the others. I wanted to assure them that there was still going to be breakfast check. I still wanted to assure them that we were going to be checking classrooms and make sure they were in there. I wanted to make sure that they understood that they're still expected to go to the study table, and turn in equipment and do all the things that we normally do. So the expectations, if anything, maybe I cranked them up a little bit just to make sure that we finish these 2 or 3 weeks out the right way.
Ron, how important is this decision on the next football coach to getting this program back to where you want it to be, into this Penguin community?
Well, obviously, I think it's critical. I think this program is critical to our athletic department, to our campus, and to this community, or this room wouldn't be full like it is right now. So obviously, it's important, and it affects a lot of things. Our football program is supported a lot of scholarships through the years, and that's a critical part and role it plays. But it has also provided a great educational tool for the kids that are on our campus, and it's provided a way for this program to allow the institution to kind of tell its story, whether that's commercials during TV games or radio broadcasts or anything else like that.
Can you expand a little bit on that, how much the football program helps other athletic programs on campus?
Well, not a lot of people would realize. I mean, people come to games and they see, people selling 50-50 and game ball tickets and all those things. Our baseball team runs the concession stands on the east side. Our track team is running up and down the stairs selling pop and doing those things. And, our softball program really relies on the fundraising efforts of those games to pay for their spring trips. I mean, it not only affects the scholarships, but it affects a lot of other programs.
Ron, how difficult has this been for you personally? I mean, a lot of the administration has been there a long time, considering the length of John's tenure.
I mean, again, John, I've known John almost half my life now, and I was thinking about that, when I was driving back from Indianapolis. I've watched his kids grow up and feel like John's a great personal friend. And not only that, like I said, there's 15 assistants there that, when you spend as much time in the office as they do and we do, you get to know them more than you get to know your family at home. And so, this has been a very difficult process. This morning, talking to those assistant coaches was very difficult. I'm not going to lie.
Ron, can you share a little bit more of what John told you? He seems like a fighter, and a
Yeah,
year ago,
he is. But at the end, the great thing about John is he loves this institution, this program more than anything. And me saying that just sounds like I'm just saying that to say great things about John. But I'm telling you, he truly loves this program and understands more than anyone what the expectations are here. And those were challenging discussions, but he understands what the expectations are here.
Ron, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Just back to what you're looking for in the next coach. Are you looking someone on the collegiate level with head coaching experience, assistant, or just college experience?
Just college experience. I think historically my hires in some of the other programs have been, the non-revenue sports have been head coaches before. And I think that's critical because, they don't really have a bunch of staff to rely on. Football coaches go through more of a learning process in the sense that they work on multiple staffs and get to see how different people run their programs. So I think they can learn and catch up a lot quicker than a coach in another program.